Yo, what up? What up? What up? What up? All right. This is a different type of stream. This is a stream I've never done before, and this is a stream I never planned on doing. But desperate time calls desperate measures. I have a lot on my plate right now, and you know what? I said, let me take this. Let me take this. Let me take this, and let's fuse them together for the night. I have an exam on Friday. It's worth 100 points. Gotta get this shit done. I gotta pass this. I don't know jack shit about anatomy and physiology. I don't know a damn thing. I don't know a damn thing. So we about to watch like 6 crash courses. We about to hit mad studies. Oh, we're gonna hit mad flashcards. And I'm hoping I got tonight. I gotta work in the morning. When I come home, I got tomorrow. Friday I gotta do the exam. Cause Saturday, sky falling. Sunday, Father's Day / stepdad's birthday. I got no other time. I got no other day than Friday to do this shit. So, you know what I mean? I gotta do what I gotta do. Um, I also did something I told myself I never wanted to do. I logged into Canvas on my PC. It was heartbreaking to do that. I try to keep these worlds separate, but I had to fuse them tonight. I have no other option. So my main squeeze, damn, what's his name from Crash Course? We're watching all his anatomy and physiology. We're studying tissues. There's 4 parts of this, and then we're gonna do flashcards. And hopefully I understand this by the end of the night, because then I gotta do the chapter 5 tomorrow. Chapter 5 is much smaller. Chapter 4 is the bulk of the test. So, without further, I don't know what kind of, I was gonna try to figure out a gimmick to throw in to this stream. I could not come up with a gimmick. So we just gonna bunk it down, and we're gonna do these notes, and we're gonna study this shit, and we're gonna learn this shit together, so we can both save the world. If we, you know what I mean, if we out there in the world and boom, somebody goes into cardiac arrest, you gonna learn how to fix them. I mean, save them. You'll be good. You'll be good. All right. Bam, bam, bam. All right. Video number 1. Video number 1. Amoeba. This is my guy. That's my guy.
Billions of different cells working together to keep them alive. They don't need a bunch of structures to keep their stomachs away from their hearts, away from their lungs.
Oh.
They're content to just flop around and live the simple life. So we humans, along with the rest of the multicellular animal kingdom, are substantially more complex. We're all about cell specialization, compartmentalizing our bodies. Every cell.
One second. 1 second. 1 second. I forgot. Hold up. I think I just fell in love with a porn star. Now.
We really needed that power.
Now y'all should be I'm not sponsored by them. Don't listen to what the hell don't listen to what they got to say. Hopefully now.
Kind of a rugged, no-frills life form. The thing about amoebas is that they tend to do everything in the same place.
Hopefully,
they take in
hopefully.
and digest their food and reject their waste and get through everything else they need to do all
Shit.
within a single cell. They don't
Okay,
need billions of
okay.
different cells working together.
Okay. Oh. Relax. My bad.
together to keep them alive. They don't need a bunch of structures to keep their stomachs away from their hearts, away from their lungs.
Hey,
They tend to just blob
let's see
around
what my
with
man's
the
got to
simple
say.
life.
What did he say his
We
name
humans, along with
was?
the rest of the multicellular animal kingdom, are substantially more complex. We're all about cell specialization.
Cell
and
specialization.
compartmentalizing our bodies. Every cell in your body has its own specific job description related to maintaining your homeostasis, that balance of materials and energy that
Homeostasis.
keeps you alive. And those cells are the most basic building blocks in the hierarchy of increasingly
Oh
complex
God, I gotta learn
structures
all
that
of
make
this.
You what you are. We covered a lot of
Mike
cell
Tyson.
biology in Crash Course Bio, so if you haven't taken that course with us yet, or if you just want a refresher, you can go over there now. I will still be here when you get back. But with that ground already covered, we're going to skip ahead to when groups of similar cells come together to perform
Group of similar cells come together to perform a common function.
in our tissues. Tissues
Tissues,
are like
okay.
the fabric of your body. In fact, the term literally means woven. And when two or more tissues combine, they form organs. Your kidneys
Organs.
and your lungs and your liver and other organs are all
Multiple
made of different
tissues is
types
the
of
organs.
tissues. But what function a certain part of your organ performs depends on what kind of tissue it's made of. In other words, the type of tissue defines its function. And we have 4 different primary tissues, each with a different job. Our nervous tissues provide us with
I'm so
control and
fried.
communication. Muscle tissues
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
job
whoa.
defines its function. And we have 4 different primary tissues, each with a different job. Our nervous tissues provide us with control and communication.
Okay.
Muscle tissues give us movement. Epithelial
Okay.
tissues line our body cavities and organs and essentially cover and protect the body, while connective tissues provide support. If our cells
I gotta remember
essentially
that.
cover and protect the body, while connective tissues
Okay, nervous tissue, control and communication. Okay. Muscle tissue, movement. Epithelial covers and protects. Epithelial's armor, equipped armor. Oh, okay. Nervous is the control system, right? The nervous system is oh fuck. The nervous system is the control terminal. The muscle tissue, I can remember that. I can remember muscle move. You know what I mean? Muscle move. Epithelial armor. You equipped armor. Epithelial is protection. You know what I mean? Connective provide support. That's the middleman. That's the middleman to get everything working together.
provide support. If our cells are like words, then our tissues or groups of cells are like sentences, the beginning of a language. And your journey to becoming fluent in this language of your body, your ability to read, understand, and interpret it, begins today. It begins today.
Don't fuck that bitch, Alex. That's what that stands for. Don't fuck that bitch, Alex. Yeah, I don't know who Alex is, but don't fuck that bitch. He giving me too much information right now.
Although physicians and artists have been exploring human anatomy for centuries, histology, the study of our tissues, is a much younger discipline. That's because in order to get all up in a body's tissues, we needed microscopes.
Pause.
And they weren't invented until the 1590s, when Hans and Zacharias Janssen, a father-son pair
Shakespeare?
of Dutch spectacle makers, put some lenses in a tube and changed science forever. But as groundbreaking as those microscopes were then, they were a little better than something you might find in a cereal box today. That is to say, low in magnification and pretty blurry. So the heyday
You think
of
his
microscopes
forehead
didn't really get
booming?
cracking until the late 1600s, when another Dutchman, Anton van Leeuwenhoek,
Do I really need to
became
know
the
this
first
shit?
to make and use truly high-power microscopes.
I'm not gonna remember
While
this
other
shit.
scopes at the time were lucky to get 50 times magnification, van Leeuwenhoek's had up to 270 times magnifying power,
Damn.
identifying things as small as 1,000
He's stat padding
millimeter. Using his
with
new
the extra
scope,
20 pound,
Leeuwenhoek
with
was
the extra
first to
20x.
observe microorganisms, bacteria, spermatozoa, and muscle fibers, earning himself the illustrious title of the father of microbiology for his troubles.
That's a hard
Even his
name.
amazing new optics weren't quite enough to launch the study of histology as we know it, because most individual cells in a tissue weren't visible in your average scope. It took another breakthrough, the invention of stains and dyes, to make that possible. To actually see a specimen under a microscope, you have to first preserve it or fix it, then slice it into super thin deli meat-like sections that let light through, and then stain that material to enhance its contrast. Because different stains latch onto different cellular structures, this process lets us us see what's going on in any given tissue sample down to the specific parts of each individual cell.
I don't know what he's saying.
See cells nuclei.
Okay,
and
nuclei.
Identify different tissues, the location, shape, size.
I'm really sorry, y'all, but I need I need subtitles. I'm so sorry. I can't. I need to be able to see. I need to be able to read what he's saying.
Or even absence of nuclei will be very important. Now, Leeuwenhoek was technically the first person to use a dye, one he made from saffron, to study biological structure.
Saffron? Oh, he got money.
The dude was a boss. But it really wasn't until nearly 200 years later, in the 1850s, that we really got the first true histological stain. And for that, we can thank German anatomist Joseph von Gerlach. Back in his day, a few scientists have been tinkering with staining tissues, especially with a compound called carmine, a red dye.
Carmine. An early 18th century from French carmine based on Arabic irmis, a red dye derived from the scales of a crushed up cochineal insects. Bugs? Is matter of bugs?
Crushed up insects. Gerlach and others had some luck using carmine to highlight different kinds of cell structures, but where Gerlach got stuck was in exploring the tissues of the brain. For some reason, he couldn't get the dye to stain brain cells, and the more stain he used, the worse the results were. So one day he tried making a diluted version of the stain, thinning out the carmine with ammonia and gelatin, and wetted a sample of brain tissue with it. Alas, still nothing. So he closed up his lab for the night, and as the story goes, in his disappointment, he forgot to remove the slice of someone's cerebellum that he had left sitting in the solution. He returned the next morning to find the long, slow soak in diluted carmine had stained all kinds of structures inside the tissue, including the nuclei of individual brain cells and what he described as fibers that seemed to link the cells together. It would be another 30 years before we knew what a neuron really looked like, but Gerlach's famous neural stain was a breakthrough in our understanding of nervous tissue.
That's crazy.
And it showed other anatomists how the combination of the right microscope and the right stain could open up our understanding of all of our body's tissues.
You think he threw the stain in there so he was important? Because he didn't come up with the
microscope.
microscope.
Really needed that power slide.
He didn't come with the microscope, so he was like, "Yeah, let me tell them the stain is really important too." That's what I think. I think that he's really jealous of the father of histology, whatever his name was, Van something.
The cells that Gerlach studied as a type of nervous tissue.
Nervous tissue, okay.
Guessed it, the nervous system, that is the brain and
Nervous system control. Nervous system is the control center.
Nervous system and the network of nerves in your peripheral nervous system.
Peripheral, that's like eyes, right? Your peripheral is your eyes.
Combined, they regulate and control all of your body's functions. That basic nervous tissue has two big functions: sensing stimuli and sending electrical impulses through the body, often in response to those stimuli. And this tissue also is made up of two different types of cells: neurons and glial cells. Neurons are
Glial
the
cells.
specialized building blocks of the nervous system. Your brain alone contains billions of them. They're what generate and conduct the electrochemical nerve impulses that let you think and dream and eat nachos or do anything. But they're also all over your body. If you're petting a fuzzy puppy or you touch a cold piece of metal or rough sandpaper, it's the neurons in your skin's nervous tissue that sense that stimuli and send the message.
So this plasticky feeling, or this texture of the head is neurons. These are the neurons. My bad.
To your brain to say, like, cuddly or cold or why am I petting sandpaper? No matter where they are, though, each neuron has the same anatomy, consisting of the cell body.
Cell body. Okay, big body, cell body. The main piece is the cell body. These little tentacles, dendrites,
and the axon.
How am I gonna remember Axton? Oh, y'all ever play Borderlands 2? Borderlands 2, there's a character you can play who has a turret that he throws out, right? Axton arm throws the turret. Boom. I might pass this test. I might pass this test. Axton, arm. Cell body, main thing. Dendrites, the tentacles.
Cell body, or soma, is the neuron's life support. It's got all the necessary goods like a nucleus and mitochondria and DNA. The bushy dendrites look like the trees that they're named after and collect signals from other cells to...
Okay, so the inside has nuclei. And what's the difference between nuclei and nucleus? Is a nuclei. I don't know how to spell nuclei. Nuclei. What is the difference between nuclei and nucleus? The difference is strictly grammatical. Nucleus is the single form referring to one, and the nuclei is the plural form referring to two or more. Wait, a cell can have two nucleuses? Cell can have two nuclei. Oh, it's right there. Nuclei. Yes, cell can have. Yes, a cell can absolutely have two nuclei, and the condition is bionucleate. Oh, okay. Sounds good.
Soma. They are the listening end, the long rope-like axon.
Axon Axon throws the turret.
Together, all of these things combine to form nerves of all different sizes laced throughout your body. The other type of nervous cells, the glial cells, are like the neuron's pit crew, providing support.
Oh, okay, glial pit crew. How do I remember that? What's his name from Cars? Why are they making this so difficult? Dude, why did it just open Pinterest? Relax. Oh my god, I'm an adult. Relax. Oh, Guido is the same as Gilio. We're gonna call that the Guido cell. No, because I'm gonna see that. I'm like, what the hell is a Gilia cell? Guido is the Gilius. Guido pit crew. He supports Axton. He gives Axton the wheels when he need it. Okay, let's go.
Insulation and protection, and tethering them to blood vessels. But sensing the world around you isn't much use if you can't do anything about it, which is why we've also got muscle tissues. Unlike
muscles move.
Tissues, your muscle tissues can contract and move, which is super handy if you want to walk or chew or breathe. Muscle tissue is well vascularized, meaning it's got a lot of blood coming and going, and it comes in 3 flavors: skeletal, cardiac, and smooth. Skeletal muscle is what attaches to all of the bones in your skeleton, supporting you and keeping your posture in line. Skeletal muscle tissues pull on your bones or skin as they contract to make you move.
Okay, you're gonna have to
Skeletal muscling,
restart.
and it comes in 3 flavors.
Okay, muscle
Meaning
comes in
it's got
3
lots of
flavors.
blood coming and going, and it comes in 3 flavors: skeletal,
Skeletal,
and
cardiac,
Your
smooth.
skeletal muscle is what attaches.
Skeletal, long, nucleated, parallel cells, striations. Fine black lines running a perpendicular. Okay, so skeletal. Okay, I think I can just remember. I think I can just picture this in my head. I think I just mentally picture this. Yep. Pictured.
Your skeleton supporting
You've been programmed.
Posture in line. Skeletal muscle tissues pull on your bones or skin as they contract to make you move. You can see how skeletal muscle tissue has long cylindrical cells. It looks kind of clean and smooth with obvious striations that resemble little pinstripes. Many of the actions made possible in this tissue, like your wide range of facial expressions or pantheon of dance moves, are voluntary. Your cardiac tissue, on the other hand, works involuntarily, which is great because it forms the walls of your cardiac.
Gotta read that. Cardiac muscle tissue, cells divided and converted into nucleus. Cells divided and converged. One nucleus per cell. Striations with intercalated discs. Okay, you see these discs? I think that's what it's talking about. So it has striations and it has one nucleus. I don't know what I'm looking. I don't know where the nucleus is. Nucleus in this? But nucleus right there. Oh, each section. Oh, look. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I see. Each of these have, okay, so it has one nucleus, and it's got these little discs that separate them. Got it, locked in.
On the other hand, works involuntarily.
Cardiac is involuntary.
It forms the walls of your heart, and it would be really distracting to have to remind it to contract once every second. This tissue is only found in your heart, and its regular contractions are what propel blood through your circulatory
Oh, it's only in my heart.
Cardiac muscle tissue is also striped or striated, but unlike skeletal muscle tissue, their cells are generally uninucleate, meaning that they have just one nucleus. You can also see that this tissue is made of a series of sort of messy cell shapes that look like they divide and converge rather than running parallel to each other. But where these cells join end to end, you can see darker striations. These are the glue that hold the muscle cells together when they contract, and they contain pores so that electrical and chemical signals can pass from one cell to the next. And finally, you've got the smooth muscle tissue, which lines the walls of most of your blood vessels and hollow organs like those in your digestive.
Okay, I didn't read that. I keep on. Okay, smooth muscle. Short, tapered cells, but no striations. Okay. Where is this in my body? Don't know. But what I do know, that shit looks the best. That shit is the most visually appealing out of all the other ones. And it has no striations. Oh, no striations. Smooth. It's smooth. Striationless. It's smooth. To the touch, you know what I mean? Got it. Got it.
Blood vessels and hollow organs like those in your digestive and urinary tracts and your uterus if you have one. It's called smooth because, as you can see, unlike the other two, it lacks that striation. Its cells.
Maybe that's why it's visually appealing.
Are sort of short and tapered at the ends and are arranged to form tight-knit sheets. This tissue is also involuntary. Like the heart, these organs squeeze.
Okay, the only one that's voluntary was skeletal. Skeletal, I move that. I do that. That was all me. You know what I mean? Shit. Welcome back. Skeletal's all me. I got everything. I cannot complain. I don't even know how much I really made. I forgot. It's a lot. Fuck that. Never mind what I got. Watch that, cause I came up. That's all me. Stay true. That's all me. No help. That's all me. All me for real. Skeletal. All me.
distances through by alternately contracting and relaxing without you having to think about it. Now, one thing that every A&P student has to be able to do is identify different
Boom.
types of muscle
He's about
tissue
to quiz me.
specimen. So,
Let's get it.
pop quiz hot shot.
Let's
See
get
if
it.
you can match the following tissue stains with their corresponding muscle tissue types. Don't forget to pay attention to striations and cell shape. Let's begin with this. Which type of tissue is it? The cells are striated.
Cardiac.
Each one only has one nucleus.
Look. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's striated.
The giveaway here is probably the cell's branching structure, where their offshoots meet with other nearby cells where they form those intercalated discs. It's cardiac muscle.
Cardiac, bang.
These,
Smooth.
they're uninucleate cells too, and they also are packed pretty closely together, but no striations. They're smooth, so this is smooth muscle. Leaving us with an
Skeletal. I got everything. I got everything. I cannot complain. I cannot. Dang! 3 for 3!
Posterior medial skeletal muscles. You're well on your way to understanding histology. Today you learned that cells combine to
Thank you, sir. Let me pull up the next video. Bang. Okay. Part 2.
I just need to make my video, as cool as the collection.
What about Subway meets Forest?
Let's see what Firefly can do.
Oh, shit.
I should come from the middle of the jungle.
As any teacher will tell you.
What's up, my man? We're back. Part 2. I feel confident about that first one. Smooth. Smooth. Skeletal, cardiac, smooth.
And feisty and fidgety and basically not cooperating, there's pretty much only one thing you can do. You gotta keep them separated. And there's a whole system of biological tissue.
Yeah, be careful with that.
Doing just that.
That could be taken out of context.
Order where there would otherwise be total mayhem, because you and pretty much every other animal is made up of incredibly complex, feisty, fidgety systems that need to be kept apart to some extent if they're gonna get anything done. Think of it this way. Say all the middle schoolers in your town want to have lunch together at the same time on Taco Tuesday. If you crammed everyone into one giant lunchroom, you'd have a lot of interesting and talented people in one place.
I wasn't listening.
But one
What's his analogy?
Otherwise, be total mayhem. As any teacher will tell you. When you're dealing with certain elements that are being feisty and fidgety and basically not cooperating, there's pretty much only one thing you can do. You gotta keep them separated. And there's a whole system of biological tissue that's dedicated to doing just that.
Okay, so this whole thing is just keeping them divided. You know what I mean? This whole thing is the CIA. Whatever this thing's called, epithelial, CIA. Keep them separated.
Order where there would otherwise be total mayhem, because you and pretty much every other animal is made up of incredibly complex, feisty, fidgety systems that need to be kept apart to some extent if they're gonna get anything done. Think of it this way. Say all the middle schoolers in your town.
I really want a coffee right now. I'm not sure if we have milk though. And let me tell y'all what. I worked today. I got home. Straight to bed. Well, I ate straight to bed. I probably slept for like an hour and a half before I got on stream. I had to give my mind the time to I don't know. I had to give my mind some time to rebuild and quiet down, so then I could absorb this material. So I can pass my exam, so I can go see Kanye West in peace. I can jump out of a plane in peace. You know what I mean? I don't gotta worry about, oh damn, I failed my exam. I'm gonna go make a coffee. I'll be right back. Y'all want some music? I'm trying some music for y'all. I'm just gonna shuffle my playlist. What y'all get is what y'all get. Y'all might get some B by Doobie. Y'all might get some Kevin Gates. I don't know. I don't know what y'all about to get. Where the hell is my playlist? There it is. Shuffle. Cameron. What? Dipset. Oh, I pressed it too many times. Louisiana. Got that Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola. So we didn't have any milk or any coffee. So I grabbed a Coke instead. Not really what I wanted, but I'll take it. You come Did I put my ear in it? Yeah. I was thinking making a martini, but I feel like every time I feel like every time I've ingested a little bit of alcohol while studying, I never really remember what, or I don't soak in the material that well. So we're gonna hope this Coca-Cola nourishes my mind. It's not going to. We're gonna hope that Coca-Cola helps the dopamine in my head to keep going. Let's get it.
Want to have lunch together at the same time on Taco Tuesday. If you crammed everyone into one giant lunchroom, you'd have a lot of interesting and talented people in one place, yes, but you'd also never get a handle on them with everyone shoved and talking and jostling and flirting and farting and stepping on toes and haggling over tater tots. It'd be like a John Hughes movie gone horribly wrong. So what you need is a solid system of organization, like separate lunch lines for separate groups of kids.
I don't drink
tables
soda
that arrange students
that
in
often.
alphabetical order. Your body
I like soda.
is like that crowded lunchroom. It needs order.
I don't know what he's saying. I like soda personally, but I prefer tea, coffee, water. That's the main things I drink in alcohol. So whenever I drink a coffee, it's just like a flashbang to my system. I'm like, you know what I mean?
For it to function. It can't have your liver all up in your brain or squished between your kidneys. Your organs and their
Hey, I still don't know what he's
John
saying.
Hughes talking, yes, but you'd also lunchroom. You'd have a lot at the same time on Taco Tuesday. In part, to some extent, if they're gonna get anything done,
Watch him restart the video.
when you're dealing with certain elements that are being feisty and fidgety and basically not cooperating, there's pretty much only one thing you can do. You gotta keep them separated. And there's a whole system of biological tissue that's dedicated to doing just that. Creating order where there would otherwise
So the
be
basis
total
of this video is
mayhem.
keeping
Because you
keeping
and
systems
pretty much
separated.
Every other animal is made up of incredibly complex, feisty, fidgety systems that need to be kept apart to some extent if they're gonna get anything done. Think of it this way. Say all the middle schoolers in your town want to have lunch
I got
together.
it. It's like you can't have a meat factory next to PETA. You know what I mean? Keep them separated. You need both, but they can't live next to each other.
At the same time on Taco Tuesday. If you crammed everyone into one
Tacos
giant
gas
lunchroom,
right
you'd
now.
have a lot of interesting and
Damn.
talented people in one place, yes, but you'd also never get a handle on them with everyone shoved and talking and jostling and flirting and farting and stepping on toes and haggling over tater tots. It'd be like a John Hughes movie gone horribly wrong. So what you need is a solid system of organization, like separate lunch lines for separate groups of kids or tables that arrange students in alphabetical order. Your body is like that crowded lunchroom. It needs order for it to function.
Order.
You can't have your
Order.
liver all up in your brain or squished between your kidneys. Your organs and their systems need their personal space. And that is where your unsung epithelial tissue steps
Epithelial
in.
tissue.
Like a burly gym teacher with a whistle and a plan. This is the tissue that lines and covers and generally organizes your body, creating order from what would be chaos. Without epithelial tissue, you'd essentially be a mushy pile of unarticulated goo.
Don't fuck that bitch, Alex.
When we talk about your epithelial tissue, we're really talking about two things. There's the proper epithelium, which covers and lines your outer and inner body.
Proper
and then
epithelium.
There is the glandular epithelium.
The
which forms
glandular.
glands and secretes hormones and other substances. Your primary epithelium protects your whole body inside and out. It's a great organizer, partitioning everything into separate but connected units. It covers the surface of your body when it combines with connective tissue to create skin, but it also lines your body cavities and coats the internal and external walls.
Very important protection. I W epithelial for protecting this. You know what I mean?
Of many of your organs, because your body doesn't just interact with the outside world through your skin. We and all animals, from the simplest worms on up the tree of life, are really just tubes, corridors of tissue running from a mouth to an anus. Epithelial tissue covers both the inside and the outside of that U-tube. To get a better sense of what I mean, take a look at this balloon.
Okay.
Latex is like the outer covering of your body, in part made up of epithelial tissue. It separates what's inside the balloon from the rest of the world. Now, if I stick my hand in there, you can see how, while the tissue still forms an outer layer, it also folds in on itself, creating a continuous barrier that lines all of the cavities. In a very similar way, the membranes covering your lungs, for example, are
Okay, it works. It works.
actually invaginations of your epithelium, where the tissue that makes up your U-tube folds to form a cavity, just like this balloon.
I don't know what you
Your
just
lungs,
said.
for example, are actually invaginations of your epithelium, where the
Invaginations.
tissue that makes up your U-tube folds to form a cavity, just like this balloon when I push my fingers into it. The epithelium does all this to protect your deeper layers of tissue from injury or infection, like for example by lining your stomach with epithelial cells that produce mucus so that you don't digest yourself along with your lunch. And all of your epithelial tissues are avascular, meaning they don't have a blood supply. Instead, they rely on the blood supply and the supporting connective tissues around them for the materials they need. But these tissues come in different varieties that serve different purposes. And a lot of what classifies the
Damn, I need to lock in because I was not paying attention at all. I was just in my head.
blood supply. Instead, your epithelial tissues are avascular, meaning
Epithelial is avascular. Late 17th century from modern Latin vascularis, from Latin vasculum. Not associated or supplied by blood cells. What? Is your vascular system what blood? Because A means without in Latin. So vascular means with blood. Avascular means without blood. Is that what it means? Does A mean without and the beginning of a word in Latin? Yes, but only Greek derived words. Atypical, without typical shape or pattern. Amoral, without a moral. Okay, see? I learned a little bit. It's okay. I really know how to break it down because when I was a child, the schools thought I was dyslexic, but I really just couldn't read. So I was always pulled out of class to spend extra time learning how to read, and they heavily focused when I was in there on Latin, like understanding what the Latin prefixes of the words mean to help me understand what the word is, because they thought I was dyslexic, but really I just couldn't read. You know what I mean? So naturally over time, because I did it so much, like it was literally every day I would get pulled out of class. It was embarrassing as hell to get pulled out of class. They were like, "Hey Ethan," they're like, "Go." They're like, the teacher, because everybody knew it was the slow teacher it was the teacher for the slow kids, and she would open the door, and I was, fuck, they got me, fucking got me. One second. It was the slow teacher who would come in, and I was mad as shit every time because everybody knew it was the slow teacher, and she would say, hey Ethan, come on, and I would have to grab my shit and I have to walk out the classroom, and then I gotta sit here with all the other slow kids learning how to read or trying to overcome dyslexia, but really I just couldn't read. So it turned what was a bad thing turned to a good thing, because now I'm very, very good at breaking down words. I can figure out a word. Just give me the sentence. I can figure out what it means. Just give me the sentence. God damn it.
They don't have a blood supply. Instead, they rely on the blood supply and the supporting connective tissues around them for the materials they need. But these tissues come in different varieties that serve different purposes. And a lot of what classifies the different types of epithelium boils down to their shape and layering. That is, the shape of the individual cells and the number of layers that they form in. And there are three basic
Squamous.
shapes: squamous, cuboidal, and columnar. And
These are the shapes.
and layering. That is the shape of the individual cells and the number of layers that they form in. And there are three
Okay. Squamous.
basic shapes: squamous, cuboidal, and
Okay. Okay. Squamous, cubital, kilometer. Cubital kilometer. Those are easy. Cube. Whoa. But squamous? Hold up, because I'm picturing something in my head, but I don't know if it's right. My dumbass said pinch. It's kind of like a. Do y'all see the vision almost? Like a curved home plate, right? Stick with me now. I just need to.
And they're pretty easy to tell apart because, unlike most terminology you'll be exposed to in this course, their names actually describe what they look like. Squamous cells are flat. Their name means scale, and they look kind of squishy.
Ooh, yeah. Scale. I like scale. Scale is way better than home plate. A scale. Scale squamous. Octagonal almost. Well, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What was that? Is that a hexagon?
Even the cell's nucleus, which gets darkly stained and is usually easy to see, is flattened. Cuboidal cells are, you guessed it, cubish shaped, about as tall as they are wide. They absorb nutrients and produce secretions like sweat. Their nucleus is pretty circular. Columnar cells are tall and thick and look like columns, and they cushion underlying tissues. And as if they were cuboidal cells that got stretched tall, their nuclei are stretched into an ellipse. And here's yet another instance where the form of a structure relates to its purpose. In this case, the shape of each kind of epithelial cell correlates with its function. For example, squamous cells are flat, which makes it easy for materials like oxygen to move across them to the other side. So we see these kinds of cells where absorption or transportation is most important, like in, say, the air sacs of your lungs or in your blood vessels. But if the cells that make up a tissue need to, say, brew up hormones or mucus, they'll need all the internal machinery it takes to make that stuff, and that takes up a lot of space. So those cells can't be flat, they gotta be cuboidal or columnar to accommodate more room.
I wasn't listening.
Or in your absorption or transportation is to function. For example, squamous cells
Squamous is flat.
which makes it easy for materials like oxygen to move across them to the other side.
Okay.
So we see these kinds of cells where absorption or transportation is most important, like in, say, the air sacs of your lungs or in your blood vessels. But if the cells that make up a tissue need to, say, brew up hormones or mucus, they'll need all the internal machinery it takes to make that stuff, and that takes up a lot of space. So those cells can't be flat, they gotta be cuboidal or columnar to accommodate more room for taking care of business. So that stomach lining
Take care
that
of
I mentioned,
business.
for example, is made up of big columnar cells because they have to make and secrete mucus. But when it comes to what kind of cells are found where, an important thing to keep in mind is the fact that cells are, biologically speaking, expensive. They take a lot of time and energy and raw materials to make. So in places where you lose a lot of cells, like your outer skin or in your mouth, you have more squamous cells because they're smaller and flatter and therefore cheaper, practically disposable, rather than big, expensive cuboidal or columnar ones. Which brings me to the other trait that we use to classify epithelial tissue. It's layering.
My skin is squamous. Can y'all see the hexagon? Can y'all see the hexagon or nah? I can kind of see it. Can y'all? Can y'all see it? Low key. Low key. You can see, you can kind of picture it. You can kind of picture the hexagons. You know what I mean? Got it. I'm not about to open my mouth for y'all. That's gay.
I just need to make my video, as cool as the collection.
I'm not sponsored by them. Don't listen to what they got to say. What's up, my man? Ham kick. W follow. What's up, my man? I don't know. I mean, I got an anatomy and physiology exam on Friday, so we trying to understand this because I don't know jack shit about it. I don't know jack shit about this class, and I really gotta pass this exam. So that's what we doing right now. We understanding cell types. We got squamous, we got cubital, we got columnar. Real shit. Squamous is hexagonal. Cubital is cubish. Columnar is like a column. You feel me?
Is mostly just one layer of cells, a stratified tissue. It's layering. A simple epithelium has only one layer of cells. A stratified type has multiple layers set on top of each other.
What?
Only one layer
Okay,
of cells.
simple, one layer.
A stratified type has multiple layers set on
Stratified
top of
is
each other,
multiple.
like the bricks and mortar of a wall. And pseudo-stratified epithelium is mostly just one layer, but the cells can be different shapes and sizes. And the nuclei can be at lots of different levels, so it looks sort of messy and multi-layered, even though it really isn't. And when we describe a type of epithelial tissue, like in a lab setting, we cite both its shape and its layering. You can think of a tissue's first name as its number of layers, and its last name as the shape of its cells. For example, a simple squamous epithelium refers to...
Oh, so that would mean simple. So it's one layer of hexagon cells. Got it. But if it says stratified squamous, it's multiple layers of hexagonish cells. I might actually pass this exam. Cause then I pass my exam, then I go skydiving the next day, then boom, hit the open mic the 24th, then boom, Kanye, Yeezus on the 27th, and Hard Rock. I just gotta get through this exam. This is the last hump before I'm doing it big.
Like cells, like the lining of the air sacs deep in your lungs. A stratified cuboidal tissue, meanwhile, would have
stratified a whole bunch of layers cubed up.
Of the ducts that leak sweat and spit. When you put the shape of a cell together with its type of layering, you can begin to see how both traits inform the function of your epithelial tissue. Let's go back to those squamous cells. Because they're thin like scales, it takes many layers of them to form a tissue that's thick enough to offer protection. So you end up with a really dense stack of cells that on an individual basis are small and cheap to make. That's why when I scratch my hand or hit the inside of my mouth with a toothbrush, I can lose a couple of layers, no big deal. Those squamous cells are a dime a dozen. There's still lots of layers left. Epithelial tissue regenerates really quickly. But if you, say, get tossed off a moving motorcycle, you lose a lot more layers. And if your road rash is really bad, you could scrape all the way through all of those squamous cells down to the nerves and the blood and all the underlying connective tissue, plowing through a lot more expensive cells and wind up with a real, can you please get me to the hospital? I need to go to the hospital kind of problem. Of course, when we talk about epithelial tissue protecting you, it's not always protecting you from the outside world. It also creates order among all of those rambunctious 7th graders that are your organs. And here it's important to note that all of your epithelial cells...
It's on the inside too? I thought the squamous... I thought he said the... What's it called? The, Oh my god, I forgot the word. No, I'm gonna fail my exam. Fuck, what's that shit called? I got it. It's right there. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's the hexagonal. It's the squamous. The squamous scales. Like you said, it was only on the outside.
Polar, meaning they have distinct sides. The apical or upper side is exposed to either the outside of your body or whatever internal cavity it's lining. The basal side or inner surface is tightly attached to the...
How do I remember this? Apical. How do you... Ham kick. How would you remember apical is on the outside? If you still there, my boy. Apical's on the outside. How would I remember that? I can remember. Oh, maybe fuck apical. Don't remember apical. Maybe basal, base, basal. You know what I mean? Similar, same, but different. You feel me? Basal base bottom, basal bottom. Oh, maybe that's better than basal base. Basal bottom. Got it.
Basement membrane, a thin layer of mostly collagen fibers that helps hold the epithelium together and anchors it to the next deeper layer, your connective tissue. Many of these boundaries that the cells form aren't absolute. Instead, they're selectively permeable.
I don't know what that
allowing
means.
for some level of absorption,
Allowing for some levels of absorption, filtration, and extraction of substances, like drugs. Allowing for some levels of absorption. Wait. I'm really confused what we're talking about now.
Bunctious seventh graders that are your organs.
Okay, we're talking about the inside now.
To note that all of your epithelial cells are polar, meaning they have distinct sides.
Oh, polar. So top, you know what I mean? North, south. North pole, south pole. Okay, so that's why they're called polar. Now we have the apical. Apical side is the north pole. Basal side is the south pole. Okay, and then this shit, this, whatever this is, my epithelial cell, that is what filters. He said it filters. He said it excretes. It was another word.
Or inner surface is tightly attached to the basement membrane, a thin layer of mostly collagen fibers that helps hold the epithelium together and anchors it to the next deeper layer, your connective tissue.
Oh shit! I didn't know it was 3 parts. Epithelial is on the top. Basement membrane connects to the connective tissue. Basement's the, you know what I'm saying, insane in the membrane, the middle.
Many of these boundaries that the cells form aren't absolute. Instead, they're selectively permeable, allowing for some level of absorption,
filtration, and excretion
of substance.
Okay.
The tissue lining your small intestines, for instance, is what allows you to absorb nutrients through diffusion and active transport.
What the hell is diffusion? Fuck. What is diffusion? Diffusion is a spontaneous movement of particles, atoms. Diffusion in my body. The natural, effortless movement of molecules from areas of high concentration to low concentration. Breathing and oxygen flow, cellular nutrition, waste. Oh, that's probably because it's moving through the liver. That's probably what's doing down there. It's waste removal. Oh, maybe not. Osmosis.
So that's pretty important. And all of your urinary waste gets filtered through a different epithelial lining in your kidneys. So by now you're probably starting to get it. Every interaction that your body has with the rest of the physical universe is made possible somehow by your epithelium. But that is not all. Remember, your glands are also made up largely of epithelial tissue, so it also plays a big role in facilitating all of your secretions, from sweat and mucus to hormones and enzymes. This glandular epithelium forms 2 different kinds of glands. Your endocrine glands, the ones that secrete hormones right into your bloodstream or to nearby.
Endocrine glands secrete hormones right into your bloodstream or nearby cells. Oh yeah, I always thought it was wild that you got glands under your chin. Doesn't it look like balls? You got balls under your chin. Real shit. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. And what are those? My kidneys? Okay.
By cells and your exocrine glands, the type that.
Yo, I didn't even realize the balls was dangling. Look.
And your exocrine glands, the type that secrete their juices.
Why'd they innovate only the balls? Exocrine glands secrete their
into tubes
Pause.
or ducts that lead
secrete their juices into tubes or ducts that lead to the outside of the body. Like when I go pee?
to the outside of the body, or the inside of your tube, rather than right into the blood. The hormone thyroxine, for example, is secreted by an endocrine gland, your thyroid, and it needs to be distributed throughout the entire body so that it can stimulate the metabolism in all of your cells. Some examples of exocrine secretions would be sweat, saliva, mucus, stomach acid, and milk if you're lactating. All those secretions go
What?
right into ducts where they're
Ew.
buried to an epithelial surface, which could be your outer layer of skin in the case of your sweat, or the edge of your stomach lining if it's your stomach acid. So hey, the system works, and it's due in large part to the humorless
Ellen.
gym teacher that is your epithelial tissue. It may not be a ton of fun, but darn it gets results. Today, you learned how your unsung epithelial
I don't
tissue
feel as
creates the
confident.
inner and
I don't feel as confident about this as the last one, but I don't feel that bad about this now. He's the, you know what I'm saying? They breaking it down simple. 3, 3, 3. The last one, we had the skeletal, the cardiac, and the smooth. We had the skeletal, cardiac, smooth. This one we had the squamous, the cubital, and the columnar. Oh, okay. And then something about basal. No, I'm gonna grab a snack. I'll be right back. Y'all want some more music? I'll be right back. Let's see what y'all get this time. I hope we got some like trail mix or something. I'm in like a trail mix type of mood. What y'all get? Whatever songs on my playlist. Let's see. I don't want to hear this shit. This'll work. I'll be right back. Jackpot, biatch. Jackpot. I don't know whose trail mix this is, but it's mine now. It's mine now, bitches. Alright. We've gone through epithelial tissue. We've gone through tissue. Not bad. All right, what's the next one? Part 3. Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. Damn, that was a raisin. I hate raisins. Shit.
Flo
Damn.
had always been
What happened to him? He looked rough. Damn, what happened to my boy? He looked rough. What happened to you?
Really tall. By her 12th birthday, she was already
Who is this?
Flo Hyman had always been a tall girl. I mean, really tall. By her
Man, that's
12th
two
birthday,
ratings.
she was already 6 feet, and by 17, she topped out at just over 6'5". Initially self-conscious about her stature, she learned to use it to her advantage when she started playing volleyball. She attended the University of Houston as the school's first female scholarship athlete, and at the age of 21, she was competing in the World Championships. 9 years later, she made it to the 1984 Olympics and helped her team win the silver medal. After the Olympics, Hyman moved to Japan, where she gained fame.
Why is she telling me about a loser? She only got
All of that
silver.
ended in 1986 when out of nowhere she collapsed and died during a game. She was
Oh.
31 years
I'm going to hell. R.I.P. man. R.I.P. Thank you for bringing home that silver.
old. Hyman's initial cause of death was thought to be a heart attack, but an autopsy revealed that she died from a tear in her aorta, caused by an undiagnosed condition known as Marfan syndrome. Marfan syndrome is a genetic disorder of the connective tissue. People suffering from it have a defect in their connective tissue that substantially weakens it over time. And you got connective tissue pretty much everywhere in your body, so it can cause some big problems. Outwardly, those with Marfan's tend to be especially tall and thin, like Flo Hyman, with loose, flexible joints and noticeably longer limbs and fingers. Those long fingers and bendy joints have actually helped some athletes and musicians do things that the rest of us can't. Famous blues guitarist Robert Johnson, piano virtuoso Sergei Rachmaninoff.
Isn't that the guy they say sold his soul?
Famous blues guitarist Robert Johnson,
remember.
piano virtuoso Sergei Rachmaninoff, and Italian violinist Niccolo Paganini are all believed to have had Marfan syndrome. But these abilities come at a great cost. As people with Marfan's get older, their weakening tissue can cause serious problems in the joints, eyes, lungs, and heart. The fact that a single genetic mutation can affect your bone
Fucked up. Cause it's got chocolate in it, so it's sweet. But I had a Coke, and I hate eating something sweet and drinking something sweet at the same time. It bothers me. But I finished my water already. Motherfucker. That's, you know what I'm saying? There's worse problems in the world, but I fucked up.
bones, cartilage, tendons, blood vessel walls, and more shows that all of these structures are closely related no matter how different they may seem. We've covered the basic properties of nervous, muscle, and epithelial tissue, but we haven't gotten to the most abundant and diverse of the four tissue types, our connective tissue. This is the
Connective
stuff that
tissue is
keeps you
what we're
looking
learning.
young, makes up your skeleton and delivers oxygen and nutrients throughout your body. It's what holds you together in more ways than one. And if something goes wrong with it, you're in for some havoc. And that means we're going to be talking about Jell-O today. We'll get to that in a minute.
Don't fuck that bitch, Alex.
The springiness here, that's connective tissue. So is the structure in here and the stuff inside here and the tendons popping out here. Connective tissue is pretty much everywhere in your body, although how much of it shows up where varies from organ to organ. For instance, your skin is mostly connective tissue, while your brain has very little since it's almost all nervous tissue. You've got four major classes of connective tissue. Proper, or the kind that you find in your ligaments and supporting your skin, along with cartilage, bone, and blood.
Fuck, I gotta remember all that. Okay. Proper.
You find in your ligaments and supporting your skin, along with cartilage, bone, and blood.
That's not bad. The only one I really gotta remember is proper. I know what cartilage is. I eat that shit on chicken wings. Bones, I don't eat that shit on chicken wings. Blood, better not be on my chicken wing. Here you go.
What? Sounds a little weird, but your bones and your blood are just types of connective tissue. So despite the name, your connective tissues do way more than just connect your muscles to your bones. Your fat, which is a type of proper connective tissue, provides insulation and fuel storage, whether you like it or not. Your fat, which is a type of proper connective tissue, provides insulation and fuel storage, whether you like it or not. But it also serves structural purposes, like holding your kidneys in place and keeping your eyeballs from popping out of your skull. Your bones, tendons, and cartilage bind, support, and protect your organs and give you a skeleton so that you can move with a purpose instead of blobbing around like an amoeba. And your blood transports your hormones, nutrients, and other material all over your body. There's no other substance in you that can boast this kind of diversity. But if they're so different, how do we know that anything is a connective tissue? Well, all connective tissues have three factors in common that set them apart from other tissue types. First, they share a common origin. They all develop from mesenchyme, a loose and fluid type of embryonic tissue. Unlike cells that go on to form
Trail mix was a bad idea because now I'm focused on the trail mix and I'm not listening as well.
All connective tissues have 3 factors in common that set them apart from other tissue types. First, they share a common origin. They all develop from mesenchyme, a loose
Mesenchyme.
fluid type of embryonic tissue. Unlike cells that go on to form, say, your epithelium, which are fixed and neatly arranged in sheets, mesenchymal cells can be situated any which way and can move from place to place. Connective tissues also have different degrees of vascularity, or blood flow. Most cartilage is avascular, for example, meaning it has no blood vessels, while other types of connective tissue, like the dense, irregular tissue in your skin, is brimming with blood vessels. Finally, and as strange as it may sound, all connective tissues are mostly composed of non-living material called the extracellular matrix. While other tissue types are mainly made of living cells packed together, the inert matrix between
I don't know what damn word he just said. I don't know what the hell he just said.
There's no other substance in you that can boast this kind of diversity. But if they're so different, how do we know that anything is a connective tissue? Well, all connective tissues have 3 factors in common that set them apart from other tissue types. Classes of connective tissue proper, or the kind that you find in your ligaments and supporting your skin, along with cartilage, bone, and blood. What? Sounds a little weird, but your bones and your blood are just types of connective tissue. So despite the name, your connective tissues do way more
blood is a
than
connective
your
tissue?
muscles to your bones. Your fat, which is a type of proper connective tissue, provides insulation and fuel storage, whether you like it or not, but it also serves structural purposes, like holding your kidneys in place and keeping your eyeballs from popping out of your skull. Your bones, tendons, and cartilage bind, support, and protect your organs and give you a skeleton so that you can move with a purpose.
Okay, proper keeps me together.
Like an amoeba. And your blood transports your hormones, nutrients, and other material all over your body.
Blood is the
There's
train.
no other substance in you that can boast this kind of diversity. But if they're so different, how do we know that anything is a connective tissue? Well, all connective tissues have 3 factors in common that set them apart from other tissue types. First, they share a common origin. They all develop from mesenchyme, a loose and fluid type of embryonic tissue. Unlike cells that go on to form, say, your epithelium, which are fixed and neatly arranged in sheets, mesenchymal cells can be situated any which way and can move from place to place. Connective tissues also have different degrees of vascularity, or blood flow. Most cartilage is avascular, for example, meaning it has no blood vessels, while other types of connective tissue, like the dense, irregular tissue in your skin, is brimming with blood vessels. Finally, and as strange as it may sound, all connective tissues are mostly composed of non-living material called the extracellular matrix. While other tissue types are mainly made of living cells packed together, the inert matrix between connective tissue cells is actually more important than what's inside the cells. Basically, your connective tissue, when you see it up close, looks and acts a lot like this. Yeah, the most abundant and diverse tissue in your body that makes all of your movements and functions possible. Turns out it's not that different from the dessert that Aunt Frances brings to every holiday party. The Jell-O
I like Jell-O.
that gives this confection its structure is like that extracellular matrix in your connective tissue. The actual cells are just intermittent little goodies floating around inside the matrix, like the little marshmallows. And although it may not look like it in this particular edible model, the extracellular matrix is mostly made of 2 components. The main part is the ground substance, a watery, rubbery, unstructured material that fills in the spaces between cells and, like the gelatin in this dessert, protects the delicate, delicious cells from their surroundings. The ground substance is flexible because it's mostly made of big old starch and protein molecules mixed with water. The anchors of this framework are proteins called proteoglycans, and from each one sprouts lots and lots of long, starchy strands called glycosaminoglycans, or GAGs, radiating out from those proteins like brush bristles. These molecules then clump together to form big tangles that trap water, and if you've ever made glue out of flour, you know that starch, protein, and water can make a strong, gooey glue. But
We really needed that power supply.
check this out.
Don't listen. Don't listen. I'm not sponsored by them. Don't listen. Don't listen. Don't listen. I don't know what the hell he's saying. And we've restarted this video 3 times now. And I'm kind of pissed off because I'm not that big of a sweet. Like, I like sweets. But I really just wanted peanuts, almonds, cashews, maybe the occasional raisin. I'm not a big raisin person. And maybe an M&M every once in a while. But it's too much chocolate. I don't want all that chocolate. I just want the cashews, the almonds, the peanuts, and maybe a chocolate every once in a while. The ratio is way off. Ratio is way off. Look at that. That's just straight chocolates. I don't want that. There we go. I changed the ratio a little bit. Putting this shit down. I need to focus. I gotta pass this exam. We're gonna start from here. I'm locked in now. Okay. Y'all ready?
3 factors in common that set them apart from other tissue
There's
types.
3
First,
factors.
They share a common origin. They all develop from mesenchyme.
They
loose
all start
and
from
fluid
mesenchyme.
type of embryonic tissue. Unlike cells that go on to form, say, your epithelium, which are fixed and neatly arranged in sheets, mesenchymal cells can be situated any which way and can move from place to place. Connective tissues also have different degrees of vascularity, or blood flow. Most cartilage is avascular, for example, meaning it has no blood vessels, while other types of connective tissue, like the dense irregular tissue in your skin, is brimming with blood vessels. Finally, and as strange as it may sound, all connective tissues are mostly composed of non-living material called the extracellular matrix. While other tissue types are mainly made of living cells packed together, the inert matrix between connective tissue cells is actually more important than what's inside the cells. Basically, your connective tissue, when you see it up close, looks and acts a lot like this. Yeah, the most abundant
Oh, I
diverse
understand.
tissue
So
in your
the
body that makes all
jello
of your movements and
holding
functions
the chunks
possible.
in it. The
Turns out
jello
it's
is
not that
what
different from the
your
dessert
connective
that
tissue
Aunt
looks
Frances
like.
brings
It
to
kind
every
of
holiday
jiggles.
party.
You know what I
The
mean? It's
jello
just there to
that
hold
gives
it
this
still.
confectionate structure is like
This
that
is proper.
extracellular matrix in your connective tissue. The actual cells are just intermittent little goodies floating around inside the matrix, like the little marshmallows. And although it may not look like it in this particular edible model, the extracellular matrix is mostly made of 2 components. The main part is the ground substance, a watery, rubbery, unstructured material that fills in the spaces between cells and, like the gelatin in this dessert, protects the delicate, delicious cells from their surroundings. The ground substance is flexible because it's mostly made of big old starch and protein molecules mixed with water. The anchors of this framework are proteins called proteoglycans, and from each one sprouts lots and lots of long, starchy strands called glycosaminoglycans, or GAGs.
What the hell
radiating
is
out
that
from those
word?
proteins like brush bristles. These molecules then clump together to form big tangles that trap water, and if you've ever made glue out of flour, you know that starch, protein, and water can make a strong and gooey glue. But running throughout the ground substance is another important component: fibers, which provide support and structure to the otherwise shapeless ground substance. And here too are lots of different types. Collagen is by far the strongest and most abundant type of fiber. Tough and flexible, it's essentially a strand of protein, and stress tests show that it's actually stronger than a steel fiber of the same size. It's part of what makes your skin look young and plump, which is why sometimes we inject it into our faces. In addition, you've also got elastic fibers, which are longer and thinner and form a branching framework within the matrix. They're made out of the protein elastin, which allows them to stretch and coil like rubber bands. They're found in places like your skin, lungs, and blood vessel walls. Finally, there are reticular fibers, short, finer collagen fibers with an extra coating of glycoprotein.
We gotta memorize these.
Fibers which pump, which is
I
why
kn-
sometimes
I
we
understand
inject
collagen.
them into our faces. In addition, what most abundant
we'll-
type of here too, tough and flexible. It's
Tough,
essentially a
strong.
strand of protein and
Collagen is strong. That's all I need to know.
Young and plump, which is longer and thinner and form up into our
Okay.
faces.
Elastic.
In addition, you've also got elastic fibers, which are longer and thinner and form a branching framework with
Elastic. You know what I mean? They're longer than collagen. And they, you know what I mean? What'd he say?
You've also got elastic fibers, which are longer and thinner and form a branching framework within
Okay,
the
longer and
matrix.
thinner.
They're made out of the protein elastin, which allows them to stretch and coil like rubber bands. They're found in places like your skin, lungs, and
So they
blood
can
vessel
stretch,
walls.
okay.
Finally, there are reticular fibers, short, finer collagen fibers with an extra coating of glycoprotein. These fibers form delicate sponge-like networks that cradle and support your organs like fuzzy nets. So there's ground cells and
so
fibers
it's
in all
the last one's
connective
just
tissue, but let's not forget
another
about the
version of
cells
collagen.
themselves. With a tissue as diverse as this, naturally there are all kinds of connective tissue cells, each with its unique and vital task, from building bone to storing energy to keeping you from bleeding to death every time you get a paper cut. But each of these signature cell types manifest itself in two different phases: immature and mature. You can recognize the immature cells by the suffix they
Blast.
share in their names: blast. Blast sounds kind of destructive, but literally it means forming. These are the stem cells that are still in the process of dividing to replicate themselves, but each kind of blast cell has a specialized function, namely to secrete the ground substances and fiber that form its unique matrix. So chondroblasts, for example, are the blast cells of cartilage. When they build their matrix around them, they're making the spongy tissue that forms your nose and ears and cushions your joints. Likewise, osteoblasts are the blast cells of bone tissue, and the matrix they lay down is the nexus of calcium carbonate that forms your bone. Once they're done forming their matrix, these blast cells transition into a less active mature phase. At that point, they trade in blast for the suffix cyte. So an osteoblast in your bone becomes an osteocyte, ditto for chondroblasts becoming chondrocytes. These cyte cells maintain the health of the matrix built by the blasts, but they can sometimes revert back to their blast state if they need to repair or generate a new matrix. So the matrices that these cells create are pretty much what build you. They assemble your bone and your
I'm not passing this exam. We've watched this video 4 times now. I don't know what the hell he's saying. Blast is build, or blast is structure, but then it turns into site. What the hell does it turn into site for? After it's built? Is it after it's built site? God bless whoever my patient is. God bless. Okay. I'll tell y'all this. I'm in school for radiology. I'm trying to for MRI. I said I'm gonna study to be an MRI tech. I don't believe I'm gonna be an MRI tech at all. I'm doing this shit to make my mama proud. I don't care about this shit at all. I don't care about college at all. And I'm just putting myself through hell. What the hell? What the hell is blast and sight? I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. I genuinely believe I'm gonna be a stand-up comedian. Call me crazy. I genuinely believe that's what I'm gonna be in life. This shit. If my dreams don't work out and I'm stuck at the hospital, putting people in a machine that goes, and they ask me some questions, God bless them, because I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. They're like, what's wrong? I'm like, your heart's where your lung is. And they're like, what? I'm like, oh, my bad. Something about blast. Oh, fuck. Okay. Let's try this one more time. Let's see if we can understand what the hell he just said. One more time. Okay, understand that. Yep. This is when he said those 2 words, he lost me.
Because it's mostly made of big old starch and protein molecules mixed with water. The anchors of this framework are proteins called proteoglycans. Each one sprouts lots and lots of long starchy strands like protein molecules mixed with water. The anchors of this framework are proteins called proteoglycans, and from each one sprouts lots and lots of long starchy strands called glycosaminoglycans, or GAGs, radiating out from those proteins like brush bristles. These molecules then clump together to form form big tangles that trap water, and if you've ever made glue out of flour, you know that starch, protein, and water can make a strong and gooey glue. But running throughout the ground substance is another important component: fibers, which provide
Okay.
support and
I understood this
tightly
part.
a strand of protein and stressed skin last them and shortened grounds with a tissue like networks that cradle and support your organs like fuzzy nets. So there's ground substance and fibers in all connective tissue, but let's not forget about the cells themselves. With a tissue as diverse as this, naturally there are all kinds of connective tissue cells, each with its unique and vital task, from building bone to storing energy to keeping you from bleeding to death every time you get a paper cut. But each of these signature cell types manifest itself in two different phases: immature and mature. You can
Okay, so what'd he say? But each of these signature cell types manifests itself into two different phases. So all the connective tissues either is mature or immature.
The signature cell types manifest itself in two different phases: immature and mature. You can
Okay.
recognize the immature cells by the suffix they all
Oh, and this is like the Latin word. So if I see something blast, that means it's the immature. Got it.
share in their names: blast. Blast sounds kind of destructive, but literally it means forming. These are the stem cells that are still in the process of dividing to replicate themselves.
Stem cells. I be hearing athletes talk about stem cells. Instead of going to surgery, they've been doing stem cells, and they say it's working better than going under surgery. So stem cells are what, like when they get like cartilage problems or shoulder problems, they put stem cells to help regrow the problem, to help fix the problem.
But each kind of blast cell has a specialized function, namely to secrete the ground substances and fiber that form its unique matrix. So chondroblasts, for example, are the blast
Chondroblast. So this is immature.
cells of cartilage. When they build their matrix around them, they're making the spongy tissue that forms your nose and ears and cushions your joints. Likewise, osteoblasts are the blast cells of bone tissue, and the matrix they lay down is the nexus of calcium carbonate that forms your bone. Once they're done forming their matrix, these blast cells transition into a less active mature phase. At that point, they
Okay, so when it's blast is when it's growing and becoming something, and then when it's blast whenever it's growing and trying to become what it is, and it's sight or mature whenever it's done, and it's kind of stagnant.
trade in blast for the suffix site. So an osteoblast in your bone becomes an osteocyte, ditto for chondroblasts becoming chondrocytes. These site cells maintain the health of the matrix built by the blasts, but they can sometimes revert back to their blast state if they need to repair or generate a new matrix. So the matrices that these cells create are pretty much what build you. They assemble
Okay.
tendons and
I
everything
got
that
it now.
holds the rest together. Not bad for a bunch of marshmallows floating in jello. But there is another class of connective tissue cells that are responsible for an equally important role, and that is protecting you from pretty much everything. These are cells that carry out many of your body's immune functions. I'm talking about macrophages, the big hungry guard cells that patrol your connective tissues and eat bacteria, foreign materials, and even your own dead cells. And your white blood cells, or leukocytes, that scour your circulatory system fighting off infection, they're connective tissue cells too. You can see how pervasive and important connective tissue is in your body, so a condition that affects this tissue, like Marfan syndrome, can really wreak havoc. One of the best ways of understanding your body's structures, after all, is studying what happens when something goes wrong with them. In the case of your connective tissue, Marfan syndrome affects those fibers we talked about that lend structure and support to the extracellular matrix. Most often, it targets the elastic fibers, causing weakness in the matrix that's the root of many of the condition's most serious
I don't think I
symptoms.
need to
About
memorize this,
90%
do I?
of the people with the disease experience problems with the heart and the aorta, the biggest and most important artery in the body. When the elastic fibers around the aorta weaken, they can't provide the artery with enough support, so over time the aorta begins to enlarge, so much so that it can rupture. This is probably what happened to Flo Hyman. She was physically exerting herself, and her artery, without the support of its connective tissue, couldn't take the stress and it tore. There's so much going on with your connective tissue, so many variations within their weird diversity that we're gonna spend one last lesson on them next week, exploring the subtypes that come together to make you possible. But you did learn a lot today. You learned that there are 4 types of connective tissue: proper, cartilage, bone, and blood, and that they all develop from mesenchyme,
What is
have
his
different
name?
degrees of blood flow, and are mostly made of extracellular matrix full of ground substance and fibers. We touched on different blasts and site and immune cell types, and discussed how Marfan syndrome can affect connective tissue. Thanks for watching, especially to our subbable subscribers who make Crash Course
Hank.
possible for themselves and also for the rest of the world. To find out how you can become a supporter, just go to subbable.com. This episode
Alright, Hank. Next video. Baby, we'll have a hell of a life. Okay. Episode 4 of the Ethan Salt learns tissues to pass exam so he doesn't fail. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. And then after this, we're gonna do flashcards. We're gonna memorize the flashcards. Then bang. Do chapter 5 probably by myself. I don't think y'all want to sit here and watch this any longer. Fuck.
say that what makes
Yo, he looks rough, bro. What is happening to him? He's getting worse as the videos keep going.
Technically, we're all just meat. Yeah, you could say that what makes us human is our emotions, our thoughts, our memories, but physically, we're not all that different from this. We're used to thinking of meat as the muscle tissue that people cook and eat, but the fact is you can eat that stuff raw. A chicken breast or a steak or a pork chop is tender enough that it doesn't need cooking. What does need cooking is all of the connective tissue that's in and around the muscle and gets in the way of our meal. So one of the main reasons humans began to roast and boil and bake meat in the first place was to break down those connective tissues that we can't chew so we could get the meat. Now you might have noticed that connective tissues kind of seem like a grab bag of materials that don't really fit in other groups. Our muscle, nervous, and epithelial tissue types are more uniform, more obviously grouped together. Sometimes our connective tissues just seem like the leftovers you throw in the stew pot. But appearances are deceiving, and our inability as a species to tolerate these tissues in our food is just one reminder that no matter how different tendon, bone, or a hunk of fat may appear, they are indeed very closely related. They all spring from the same embryonic cells, and their structures are dominated not by cells, but by an extracellular matrix full of fibers. And it's those fibers that have given humans the most trouble in our meat-eating history. It wasn't until we figured out how to cook this stuff that we were able to denature or change the natural structure of those protein fibers so that they became soft and pliable. Take a chicken, for example. You couldn't just pull the skin off a living bird. Like, ethically you couldn't do that, but also you probably couldn't. Its living skin is anchored by connective tissue that's full of collagen fibers, but if you roast that chicken and break apart that collagen, suddenly the skin just peels right off with no effort at all. So connective tissues, as evidenced by this mess here, are good reminders of how sometimes things are more similar than they appear. They're also delicious, if you're into that.
Don't fuck that bitch, Alex.
So
Okay.
we know what our connective tissues have in common, and we know that we've got 4 different types, but
Proper is everything holding us together. Cartilage, the stuff in between the bones. The bone is the bone. The blood is the water that keeps it's the liquid that keeps us going. It's the transportation of all of the nutrients and oxygen and whatever else your body needs to keep going. That's what's carrying it.
what do they look like, what do they do, and where are they found, both in your butcher shop and on your body? Perhaps your most diverse type is your classic connective tissue proper. It comes in both loose and dense subclasses based on how many fibers it has in its ground substance. Pull on the back of your hand. That fleshy tent there, that's one example of loose connective tissue. There's a lot of ground substance in here, and the elastin fibers help it snap back into place, while the collagen helps anchor it so you can't, like, snag your skin on a zipper and watch it just fly off. But try pulling on your Achilles tendon, or these wing tendons here, and there isn't a lot of give. That's because a tendon is an example of dense connective
Tendon
tissue
is
with a
dense.
lot more collagen. You could chew and chew and chew on a collagen-dense tendon and never get anywhere. That's why butchers trim off most dense connective tissue before selling cuts of meat. So loose connective tissues have fewer fibers and more cells and more ground substance. Areolar tissue is the most common loose connective tissue you
Areola.
have found all over your body, just under your epithelial tissue and wrapped around your organs. It's got a loose, random arrangement of fibers with just a few
Say that one more
fibers
time.
and most common loose connective tissues and more cells and more ground substance. Areolar tissue is the most common loose connective tissue you have found all over your body, just under your epithelial tissue and wrapped around your organs. It's got a loose, random arrangement of fibers with just a few fibroblast cells that make those fibers. If you look at it under a microscope, you'll see that its most obvious feature is that it looks like it has a lot of open space in it.
Okay.
This makes areolar tissue great at holding the watery, salty ground substance that surrounding tissues draw from. Your adipose tissue, meanwhile, is your fat tissue, the loose connective tissue that's in here. Your adipose
Adipose. Adipose is fat tissue. Adipose, like adios, like get rid of the fat. You know what I mean? Like W cut. Adios, fat tissue.
tissue, meanwhile, is your fat tissue, the loose connective tissue that's in here. Rather than being mostly ground substance, this one is mostly cells, adipocytes, which store lipids for later use, insulate the body against heat loss, and grow pot bellies and love handles. The average person's weight is about 18% adipose tissue, and it's those fat stores that keep us alive when food is scarce. With no fat stores, you'd die within a few days of your last sandwich. Reticular tissue is like areolar tissue, but with a woven mass of reticular fibers rather than collagen and elastin fibers, hence the name. This tissue provides the soft internal framework or stroma of the spleen, lymph nodes, and bone marrow, and it supports lots of developing blood cells. Just as your areolar tissue is a kind of sponge for watery ground substance, your reticular tissue is what holds your blood in place in many of your organs. Really, all of these loose connective tissue proper types share an airy dispersal of fibers, which is why they're easier to eat after cooking and why you can pull cooked chicken skin apart. On the other hand, you can't easily rip a tendon or a ligament in two or even chew it because it's made of that dense, regular tissue full of tight bundles of collagen fibers all running parallel. You can see how neat and smooth a slide sample looks under a scope, the fibers being those white, flexible structures. They provide great resistance to tension when that tension is exerted in one direction. That's why you find this tissue in your tendons, which connect muscle to bone or other muscle, and your ligaments, which bind bones together anywhere you got a joint. But what if those collagen fibers aren't all stacked regularly in rows? Then it forms dense, irregular tissue, whose fibers are thicker and arranged erratically. It's found wherever tension might be exerted in lots of different directions, like the leathery dermis underlying your skin. And finally, your body has places that fibers are thicker and arranged in rows. Then it forms dense, irregular tissue, whose fibers are thicker and arranged erratically. It's found wherever tension might be exerted in lots of different directions, like the leathery dermis underlying your skin. And finally, your body has places that require more elasticity than rigidity, like say around your joints. That's where you'll find dense elastic tissue. For example, connecting your vertebra so that your spine
I still don't know what irregular is.
regular bind bones together anywhere you which connect muscle and that tension is you can see how
I'm gonna have him
you can't
completely
easily
restart.
rip a tendon or a ligament in two or even chew it
So
because
this is
it's made
regular
of
dense muscle. This is regular dense tissue.
full of tight bundles of collagen fibers all running
Regular-
parallel. You can see how neat and smooth a slide sample looks under
Is
a
it
scope.
like a
The
tendon?
fibers being those white flexible structures. They provide great resistance to tension when that tension is exerted in one direction. That's why you find this tissue in your tendons, which connect muscle to bone or other muscle, and your ligaments, which bind bones together anywhere you got a joint. What if those collagen fibers aren't all stacked regularly in rows? Then it forms dense, irregular tissue, whose fibers are thicker and arranged
Okay, irregular is the same thing, but it's not in rows. It's kind of, you know what I mean?
erratically. It's found wherever tension might be exerted in lots of different directions, like the leathery dermis underlying your skin. And finally, your body has places that require more elasticity than rigidity, like say around your joints. That's where you'll find dense elastic tissue. For example, connecting your vertebra so that your spine can curve and twist. Some of our largest artery walls are made of this stretchy elastic tissue too, which provides both support and flexibility. From fat to tendons, connective tissue proper is the most diverse group in this tissue family. But for the last few minutes, you've also been watching a different type of connective tissue bob up and down as I talk. Cartilage. Cartilage doesn't have any blood or nerves, and it stands up against both tension and compression pretty well. It's that whitish gristle you see at the end of pork ribs or chicken wings in your grocer's freezer, and it's another thing that you're not going to have much luck chewing. Hyaline cartilage is your most common type. It's kind of glassy looking and provides pliable support. It connects your ribs to your sternum and keeps the tip of your nose all perky. Its ground substance is rich with those sticky, starchy proteoglycans, and although it has collagen fibers, when you look at it under a scope, you can't really see them. Instead, the tissue looks glassy, hence the name hyle, meaning glassy or transparent. Elastic cartilage is very similar to hyaline, but with more elastic fibers that are easier to see, and it's found in places where strength and stretchability are needed, like it's why I can pull on my ear without it ripping off. And just as your body needs firm parts and stretchy parts, it also needs shock absorbers. That's where your fibrocartilage comes in. It's dominated by thick fibers of collagen and is good at withstanding lots of pressure, so it makes up the discs between your vertebra and your knee joints where it keeps your bones from grinding together. And speaking of bones, although you might not think of something so hard and durable as living tissue, bones definitely are. The word bone
Bones are
refers
living?
to an entire organ like your femur or scapula, or just bone tissue. And that bone or osseous tissue is just calcified connective tissue, perfect for supporting and protecting your body's various structures. Spongy bone tissue is typically found in the heads of long bones and in the inner layer of flat bones like the sternum. This spongy tissue is strong but porous, even to the naked eye, and it uses this extra room to make and store bone marrow. Compact bone tissue, on the other hand, is quite dense with no visible spaces. It forms the external layer of your bones and stores calcium for bone cells to use to make more tissue. Now, if bone doesn't conjure up your traditional image of a tissue, blood probably doesn't either. I mean, it doesn't seem to connect things or lend support, and yet blood is our fourth type of connective tissue. And when you think about it, it clearly does connect distant parts of your body and provides some rigidity to other parts. Just like other connective tissues, blood develops from mesenchyme and is made up of cells surrounded by an extracellular non-living matrix. In this case, the ground substance is your blood plasma, which has protein fibers floating around in it. Your blood's job, of course, is delivering goods. It transports cells and nutrients and hormones and wastes and all kinds of other stuff, keeping all the parts of your body connected in the process. Most of your blood cells are erythrocytes, or your famous red blood cells that zoom around carrying oxygen and carbon dioxide through your body. You've also got larger infection-fighting white blood cells, or leukocytes, in the mix, and your platelets, the small cell fragments needed for blood clotting so that a paper cut doesn't bleed you dry. Unlike other connective tissues, it doesn't really have what you would call fibers, but instead has a bunch of protein dissolved in the plasma, and those protein molecules will form fiber-like structures when your blood needs to clot.
Oh, like when you cut your hand.
Primary types of tissues,
Or when you get a cut. So when you get a cut, the blood will come through. Okay, imagine I have a cut right here. The blood will come through. Yo, lock this up, lock this up, lock this up. Now you have a blood clot. And now the blood ain't out your body. I got it.
Types of each that's taken us weeks to explore, and you can probably see how they can come together in many, many combinations to form all of your body's organs. And just like that chaotic cafeteria packed with middle schoolers, we'd be hopeless messes without our hierarchy of organization, our inner and outer boundaries, and the ability of our systems to communicate with each other. That is what our tissues do for us, and we wouldn't exist without them. Today we wrapped up our 4-episode
Don't fuck that bitch, Alex.
with a survey of the
Telling ya,
subgroups of loose,
I don't know who Alex is.
connective tissue, including areolar,
Don't fuck that bitch,
reticular,
Alex.
tendons, ligaments, dense irregular, and dense elastic tissue. We also talked about the 3 cartilage types, spongy and compact bone connective tissue, and how and why our blood is also a connective tissue type. Thanks to all of you for watching, especially
That video wasn't that bad. It was a little confusing at first, but then I started picking it up. Okay. Flashcards. Flashcards. Oh, I really don't want to download this. Legendary. Oh, do I have to download it? I'm gonna have to download it. Fuck. I don't want to. Oh shit. I don't want to expose anything. think if I do it like this, it'd be fine. Okay. Boom. Epithelial tissue. These photos are horrible. How am I supposed to understand this? Can I zoom? Okay. So if we're looking, oh fuck, there's circular. I'm gonna say stratified means multiple layers. Simple means one layer. Pseudo means it's not. It looks like it's supposed to be multiple layers, but it's one. Cubital. No, these are circulars. It's simple. It's simple squamous. Bang, legendary, simple squamous. All right. What organ is this tissue found in? Yo, this quiz just got so much harder, bro. Simple. Okay, so squamous is a cheap cell that you can use, you can throw away. I don't know what triashi is. Vital. That's respiratory. See, that's in. No. I think it's the esophagus. I think it's the esophagus because bladder's internal. Like you want to use the good cells for that. Kidney, you want to use the blood good cells. I don't know what alveoli of lungs is. Tiny air balloon like air sac that's located at the end of your in your lungs. See, that's interior. I think that it's esophagus. Okay, it's not esophagus. It's alveoli of lungs. Okay. This is okay. I think this is pseudo column because it looks like there's a whole bunch, but it's only one layer. Now, if there's another one up here, it would be stratified. It's either simple or it's pseudo. I think it's pseudo though, because it's not really like. It's not really it's kind of chaotic. I think it's pseudo columnar. Bang, pseudo columnar. Okay, columnar are gonna be long cells. The long cells will be used for. What are columnar cells usually? Absorption. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Secretion and protection. Okay, so it's predominantly to absorb. And when we read this, it was talking about the lungs. So I think it's D. I think it's triashi. Yep, triashi. Okay. This is simple columnar because you see how they're kind of they're in line. There's one layer, simple columnar. Simple columnar. For absorption. Would it be when you're no, because bladder you're digesting. Kidney tubules. I have a feeling it's small intestine. Cause that's whenever the food's going through your body, it's absorbing the nutrients. I think it's small intestine. Bang, small intestine. Okay. These don't look squarish. Yeah, they look circular. I think it's simple squamous. Cubital. I guess so. I'll keep that in mind. Okay, simple cubital. A simple cubital will be good for what are cubic cells good for? Says same thing, absorption, secretion, protection. Good for transportation. Would it be kidney? Maybe bladder. I think it's bladder. Kidney. Fuck. Okay, kidney. This is this looks like it's transitional. Stratified squamous. Fuck. Okay, stratified squamous. A lot of layers. Oh, my dumbass. Look. It's all, look at all the, okay, so it's multiple, you can see it's multiple layers. And then they're octagon, or they're hexagonal. Okay. Now this is probably, it's good. It's a throwaway. It's a throwaway thing, you know what I'm saying? It's easily replaced by the body esophagus, because the kidney, you're gonna need some good shit. Apparently you don't need good shit. You're gonna need good shit. You're gonna need good shit. I say esophagus. What? What's the answer? Okay. Identify the epithelial tissue. Are these? Is this stratified squamous? I mean, is this? No, these aren't columns. These are more squarish. This is, I'm gonna say, stratified cubital. Transitional. I don't know what that means. What is a... Oh. Transitional cell, also known as a urethral cell, are specialized flexible cells that line most of the human urinary tract, including the retinal, pelvis, urinary, I don't know what that is, bladder, and other parts of the urethra. Okay, so that's for bodily functions. Oh, we already knew the transition. Oh, I was right, esophagus. Okay. This would be found in the bladder, right? Yep, bladder. Okay, that is... Fuck, what is that? Is that a goblet cell? Because this is the nuclei. This, I think, is the... It's not the basement membrane, because the membrane is a connective tissue. The nuclei, it's not the nuclei. It's... I don't know what a cilia is. Fuck. Just tell me what this shit is. I've never used this shit before. Why didn't it tell me it was a goblet cell? Here's how you can tell them apart on the slide to help you study. Goblet cells, these are the large, pale, oval-shaped structures resembling wine glasses or cups. Interspersed along the epithelial cell, they secrete mucus, which is why they look clear and washed out on the sides. Cilia, these are the tiny little hair-like projections located on the very top of the cell, forming fine fringe borders. Okay, thank you, Google. That was helpful, I cannot lie. That is a goblet cell. Understand it now. Those are the cilia. What? Is that what the little line looking thing is? Are tiny finger-like projections that extend from the... Wait, then what is cilia? Is cilia on the bottom? Okay, while they look similar to cilia at a quick glance under a microscope, they serve a completely different purpose. Their main job is to maximize surface area for absorption, secretion. By folding cell membranes into thousands of tiny pleats, they allow the cell to take in nutrients or release substances much more efficiently. Under a standard light microscope, individual microvilli are too small to see clearly. Instead, they look like fuzzy, dense borders at the edge of the cells, which is why histologists call it brush border. Unlike cilia, which contains microtubule motors, microvilli are non-motile. They are rigid structures packed with core. Okay. Key difference. Absorption, non-moving. How can I tell a difference? Oh, spelled that. Did I spell that? I think I spelled that wrong. I think it's just a bad picture. Okay. It's not dense. It's not adipose. Yeah, I think areola was a dense one also. I think it's rectangular. Because you see how it looks like there's a lot of space? I'm pretty sure it's C, rectangular. Areolar. Fuck. Okay. Why doesn't it just? Why do I have to? Go away. How you can identify in your quiz and match the cubic. Chaotic area or spiderweb. Okay, areola. Areolar. Spider-Man. Collagen fibers. Oh, so they're thick. Rectiliar are like thinner. What? These are the wide, light pink ribbons crisscrossing the background. They provide tensile strength, elastic fibers, thin dark lines. These look like thin, sharp, dark purple or black threads, hair looping across the slide. The prominent fibroblasts are the dark spots. Prominent dark nuclei scattered throughout belonging to fiber. Okay. Tissue category, loose connective tissue. Wrap and cushion, organs, whole tissues, fibers. Underneath almost all epithelial tissue. Okay, areolar. Areolar. Okay, and adipose is the fat. What is reticular? Cherry blossom trees, dark decant. Dark branches. Thin, sharp, defined. Okay, so this one's kind of thick, so it's areolar. Wow, reticular was thin. Okay. I think it's C. I think it's the under the later skin because it's a loose. The areola is a loose skin, like the spleen, the tendon. I don't know what lamina. A thin, specialized layer of loose connective tissue that forms the foundation of base of. Okay, so it could be lamina. Oh, that's made of fat cells, so that's a dense. That's more dense. Definitely not that one. All right, so it's lamina. It's D. Okay. A. Okay. A is like a collagen. C is the fibroblast, and B is the elastic fiber. C, A, B. Got that. Okay. This looks to be adipose. Is this a fat? Is this a fat? It's either adipose or it's dense irregular. I think it's adipose. I'm gonna go with B, adipose. Rect. I don't understand why I would press Ask Gemini. I would have it highlighted and press Ask Gemini, and I have to still. Oh, that's what it means, like cherry blossoms. Other cell types, particularly white blood cells. Okay, so that's what it means, cherry blossoms. I can kind of see that now. Rectangular is cherry blossom-ish. Where is this? It's found in the spleen? The spleen is a fist-sized organ located in the upper left part of the abdomen under the ribcage. It acts as a primary filter of blood, with a vital role. What does it do? What is its purpose? Oh shit. I'll be honest, guys, I don't know how to spell. Oh, this is like the net. Is it dense or loose? Okay, so I guess since we can see white spots, it's loose. How can I tell the difference from the other options? Looks very busy, crowded with brown dots. Looks like a wide open spider web. You will see thick, light ribbons. Okay. Is the easiest to eliminate. It looks like an empty soap bubbles or chicken wire. Dense regular looks like wavy parallel pink waves of lasagna noodles packed tightly together. It's highly organized, running in one uniform direction. Wow. Looks like a chaotic swirling of mess of thick pink patches running in every imaginable direction, like marbled steak. It lacks the delicate, thin black networks. Okay. Okay. So, cherry blossoms, rectangular, located in the spleen. This is dense regular for sure. Dense regular, number C, or letter C, dense regular, lock that shit in, bang. And that shit, dense regular is gonna be found. Is it tendon? I think it's tendon. I think it's B. Boom, tendon. Now this is dense irregular. Yep. And you'll find this in the fibrous joint. Yeah, because remember he said it would look like it's smushed together because it's connecting your joints. Fibrous joint capsule. Bang. Okay. this. Elastic cartilage, adipose, elastic. I don't know what hyaline cartilage is. It's the most abundant type of cartilage in the entire body. It's smooth and okay, so it's not hyaline. Elastic connective tissue is specialized type of dense connective tissue packed with branching. Okay, so it's an elastic. This is elastic. C. I don't know what this is. Main artery. The artery. So really, you would want something elastic that stretches. I think it could be E, because your spleen, that's the one, that's the other one. Tendon's going to be tough. The subconscious layer, that's the fat, and the fibrous was, I think it's E, areata. Yep. This looks like, is this fiber or is this hyaline? I think this is hyaline because it's smooth. Because this says fiber, it's fiber, like fiberish. Hyaline is smooth. We're gonna go hyaline, D. Hyaline. I don't know where hyaline cartilage is found. Joint absorbs shock and provides structural support to the respiratory tract and rib cage. Okay. I'm gonna say C. Yeah. Intervertebral disc. It's gonna be like in between it, right? Nope. Coastal cartilage. What is coastal cartilage? It's the bars of hyaline cartilage that connect the anterior ends of your rib cage to the sternum. Okay. That is a cell. That is a background material. Oh, I didn't know I was supposed to. Okay. The matrix is B. That's okay. That's what I thought it was. This is definitely I don't know what this is. Is this okay? It's not elastic. It's not hyaline. Elastic cartilage, elastic connective tissue. I don't know if it's a connective tissue or a cartilage. How do I know if it's a connective tissue or cartilage? Cells in space. Okay, see that helps a lot. So now I know what cartilage. So you see how these little dots, See these little dots? That means this is cartilage versus a dense versus proper, and whatever the other one was. This is a cartilage because it has these little circles with the cells in them. So this is either hyaline, fibro, or elastic. I'm pretty sure it's fibro. We're gonna go with B. Nope. Okay, so now let's learn what elastic cartilage is. Highly flexible connective tissue that provides both structural support and the ability to repeat, bend, and snap back into shape. Okay. Okay. This might be fibro also, because you can see the little pockets where the nuclei is. It's not dense. I'm gonna go with fibro. Yep. Let's find out what fibro is, just so I know. A tough, dense, and highly resilient type of connective tissue that acts as structural shock absorber in the human body. Okay. It's a shock absorber. So, fibrous joint capsules. Oh, okay. These, okay. I'm not sure what the question is. The C is matrix. I don't know. D is this, no, B is the cell. I don't know. A is Austin. B, central canal. C, lamellae. D, osteocyte. These ones are gonna fry me during the exam. These just gonna fry me. Okay. I don't know. Don't know. A is a red blood cell. B is a white blood cell. C is plasma. This one is skeletal. No, this one's cardiac. Cardiac muscle. Bang. Cardiac is in the heart. C. Bang. That is the nuclei. That is. Identify A and B. Is this tissue striated? Yes. Yes. No. Looks. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Cell nucleus. Oh, and it's asking about that. Okay. The disc. This one is skeletal. You see the little things in the vertical skeletal. Bang. And you're going to find these in your triceps. Those are... This is a voluntary because you move your muscles. These, I don't remember what these things... I wish I could see like the answers. I hope I don't have to type those shits in. If I have to type those in, I'm fried. Cell nucleus is A. Okay. B is striation. Got it. Identify the tissue and organ. Is this tissue voluntary, involuntary, striated? Okay, this is smooth muscle. It is not striated. And it's voluntary. Smooth muscle. Muscles lining hollow organs like stomach. Oh, okay. Sounds good. Oh, I remember this. That's Axton. Axton arm. Throw it. This is the cell body. And it's I don't know what organ this is in. Your brain. Nervous tissue. Brain, spinal cord, and nerves. Neuron cell body. Cell body. Axton. Bang. All right. Let's go through this one more time. I feel much more confident. Oh, I didn't even read this. Don't expect only 5 choices in the exam, choice questions on the exam. The exams can give you the entire list of tissues to choose from. Study until you know the answers without. Some of these same images will be used, but additional images of the tissues will be included in the exam. Study until you can identify the tissues by their identifying characteristics, not just recognizing specific images. The tissues are presented in predictable order in the slideshow. They will be randomized in the exam. Study until you know the information, yada yada. This exam provides practice questions that cover identifications of the tissues, microscope slides, characteristic locations. See the posted guide, study guide for additional topics covered in the exam. Simple squamous. You can find the simple squamous in your triache. Okay, never mind. And the alveola, tiny balloons, because they absorb. Good for absorption. This is pseudo, because it looks crazy. The pseudo is good for absorption. You can find this. This one's your triache, I'm pretty sure. D. Yep, and triache is a vital, flexible tube in the respiratory system that connects voice box to. Okay. This is a simple columnar located in your bladder. No, your intestines, your small intestines. Yep. This is a simple cubital. Yep. And you can find the simple cubital in your bladder, I'm pretty sure. Kidney tubes. Millions of tiny specialized tubes in the kidney. They process fluids filtered from the blood, reabsorb necessary water, nutrients, and minerals back into the bloodstream. Okay. This is a stratified squamous, because you see all the layers. And then look, the ding, 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 ding. Stratified squamous. Yep. Stratified squamous, you'll find it's good for transportation. You'll find that bitch in your bladder. Okay. This is stratified cubital. Pretty sure. Look at all these layers of something. Transitional. Okay. Hold up. This is stratified squamous. Stratified squamous are cheap cells that you can throw away. Is what Hank said. Hank said squamous, it's on your skin because it's easy. It's easy for your body to make, and you could throw that shit away if you need to. You can't throw bladder away, right? You can't replace that easily. You need the good, expensive cells. So this probably not bladder. This is esophagus because you know what I mean. It's easy to replace those cells. So this is most likely esophagus. This one is stratified cubital. Look at all those layers. And it's transitional. Transitional is probably bladder because it's good at moving stuff. Yep. Okay. Got it. This is bladder. Okay, esophagus. Bladder. This is the clear parts, the goblet cell. Yeah. This is the microvilli. Areolar, because Spider-Man, air. A lot of space in between. You can find this in your lamina propria. I remember the word, I just don't know what it is. It's on the bottom part of your epithelial system or surface, on the inside. Okay? It's this one. Wait, what was aorta? Is this your heart? I think it's something to do with your heart. Main artery. Okay. D. Yep. Collamer or collagen, elastic, fibroblast. Yep. This one, cherry blossom, rectular. Rectular is in your spleen. This is dense regular, because you see how it's all in formation. It's all sticking together. Dense regular, you're gonna find in your tendon. Yep. This is dense irregular. You're gonna find that in your joint capsules. Yep. Elastic cartilage. Hyaline was clearish. I'm pretty sure this is elastic cartilage because it has all these fibers running throughout it. Elastic. Oh no, because cartilage has space in between. Connective tissue is dense. It's a proper. So, okay. Boom. CT, connective tissue. That is going to be found in your. It's connected. It's supposed to. It's supposed to move a lot, so it's going to be E in your aorta. This is hyaline cartilage because it's kind of clearish. And hyaline is found, I remember, in your costal cartilage. Let's remember what costal cartilage is. Yep. The space in between that connects your rib cage. Cell. That's the cellular. That's the matrix. The only ones found in healthy cartilage. Chondrocytes are the only cells found in healthy cartilage. Okay, because this is cartilage. So those are chronos. This is it? It's cartilage, so it has space in between. I think it's A, elastic cartilage. Yep. And identify the connective tissue. This is fibro, because I know what that looks. I know what that looks like. It's not a bone. Fibro. Fibro is found in your intervertebral discs. Now this, I don't know this shit. Ostine or ostenon. Fundamental, functional, and structural unit. Okay. Ostine is the O. Okay. Ostenon is the O. The central canal, B, is the, so central canal, ostenon, thin, flat layer plates or membrane. This is your bone, okay. This outside part is the laminon, and D, I think that's like the cell. Ostenon, the O. Osteo, cell. Red blood cell, white blood cell, plasma. Red blood cell, white blood cell, plasma. This is cardiac, found in your heart. That's the nuclei, or the cell, or the nucleus. Those are called the discs, the intro discs. And yes, it's striated. Intergalactic disc, cell nucleus. This is skeletal. And it's found in your tricep. Cell, nucleus, and those are striations. Striations, cell nucleus, voluntary because you control it. This is smooth. You can find these in your stomach. And they're involuntary because you don't control it. This is Axton. You find, that's Axton, and then these are Demetrius. All these right here, and that is the neuron or the whole cell body, and you find this motherfucker in your brain. All right, one more time. Okay. This is simple squamous. Simple squamous is found in your alveoli because they are good for absorption. This is pseudo because it's not organized. And these are the hairs. Those are the, what's it called? The cilia. See, pseudo. This is good for absorption. Your triaceae. Your triaceae is flexible tubes in the respiratory system that connect to your voice box. Triaceae. This is simple columnar. See how organized those are? Yep. And this is good for absorption, so small intestine. This is simple cubital. Simple cubital is good for think it's kidney tubes, but I don't remember what kidney tubes function is. They process fluids. Okay, it's good for filtration. That's what it was. These are good for filtration. So kidney. This is stratified squamous. Look at all those layers. Stratified squamous is it's a throwaway cell, so it goes in your esophagus because it's easily replaced. This is transitional. I remember now. Look at all. I don't remember how to tell what transitional is. How can I tell this is transition? Oh my god. How can I tell this is transitional? Dome shaped. If you look closely at the top dome-shaped cells, some of them will actually contain 2 nuclei. Oh shit. Bang, 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 bang. Huh. Okay, transitional has 2 and it's dome-ish. These are good for transitional, they're good for transportation. So you would use it in your bladder. It's clear. Like let's say you're holding a cup and it's got water in it. That water, or you're holding a wine glass. That's a good. It's a wine glass. It's clear. Goblet. Cilia. I mean, microvilli. My bad. Microvilli. These don't have the hairs. Microvilli. Areola. Areola because of all this air in between. Spider-Man. In your lamina. Okay, lamina is that connects to the surface. Collagen, elastic fibro. Rectular was the cherry blossom looking one. The cherry blossom was good. It's like a net. That's what it was. It was a net. The rectular was a net. And it holds your spleen. This is dens regular. Yep. Dens regular would be your tendon because it's strong. This is dens irregular because it's all look at how fucked up this shit looks. It looks smushed, aka where is it? Fibrous joint capsule because it's stuck in between your joints. This is elastic connective tissue because look at how dense it is. Connective tissue, but it still stretches, so it goes into your aorta, which is connected to your heart, or it's your main artery. Main artery. This is hyaline, same as saline, which is clearish. Bang. Look at kind of clearish. Hyaline, which is connected to your coastal clear water. Hyaline. Nuclei. Matrix. Chondrocytes. I gotta remember that. This is your elastic cartilage. because it's got all the, what's it called, the dots. This is your fibro because it's very dense. Fibro will be found in your fibrous joint capsules because it's good at shock absorption. Oh no, your interval discs. Yep. This is Atrion, something like that. That's your cell pit or something like that. The other word and cell. Ostenon, yep. Canal, yep. C, lamella. Osteocyte. Cyte is D. Cyte is out there, on, in, or around there. Cyte is mature. Red blood cell, white blood cell, plasma. This is cardiac, found in your heart. Cell discs. Oh, yeah. And yes, it's striated. This is your skeletal. It's voluntary. This is your nuclei. These are striations. It's found in your tricep. Nucleus, striation, voluntary. This is your smooth muscle. You can find it in your stomach or any other organ. It doesn't have striations, and it's involuntary. Axton, Demetrius, neuron cell body, nervous tissue, brain. Oh, it's finding your brain. Okay, one more time. Last one. Simple squamous. You know why? Because it's one layer and has these little, you know what I mean? These circles. Squamous is easily, what's it called? It's simple. So it's your alveoli lungs. This is pseudo, because it looks like it has multiple layers. That's your cilia. Pseudo. Yep. Pseudo is found in your triaceae, which is the things in your lungs that connect. Yep, system that connects to the lyarx, the voice box. This is simple columnar. Look at all those columns. Look at how organized. Found in your small intestine because you're absorbing the nutrients. This is simple cubital, right? And it's good for filtration, which is why it's in your kidney tubes. This, my friend, is stratified squamous. Look at all those, which is in your esophagus because it's got multiple layers. Good for secreting mucus. This is transitional. Look at that umbrella. Look at that motherfucking umbrella. Look, and which one had two? That one has two nucleuses. Transitional. Transitional is good at moving shit. That's why it's called transitional. You know what I mean? Yep. Transitional is in your bladder because you be pissing. Wine glass shape, upside down wine glass. Hold it like this. That, my friend, is your goblet cell. This is your macrovilli. It looks like the cilia, but it's not. They serve different purposes. Areola, air. Look at the air in between, right? And I'm gonna answer the next question because I know it. That right there is the Focus on collagen. That's the elastic. That's the cell. What is it called? What is it called? What is it called? I just need to see the word. You find this in your lemma, and your lemma is the part that connects the tissues to your, what's it called? Epithelium. Fibroblast, that's what it is. Fibroblast, elastic, collagen. Yep. Cherry blossom, rectiliar. Rectiliar is good for rectiliar was the net which holds your spleen. This is dense regular. Dense regular. Look at how uniform and tight that is. Dense regular. That's gonna be fine on your tendon. Your tendon, cause it's strong. You can chew that bitch, and he said you can be chewing for a while and nothing will happen. You know why? This is your dense irregular, cause it's smushed. You know what I mean? Bone, joint, in between, smush up the regular, or smush up the dense, get dense irregular. Right? You'll find that in between your joints. Elastic, it's dense, so it's elastic connective tissue, which still stretches, so it's part of your areola, which is your main artery. Bang, main artery. This is your hyaline, saline, clear, coastal, clear, bang. Hyaline, look at that, right? Bang, bang. Coastal, yep. And then matrix chondrocytes. This is your elastic cartilage, because look at the spaces in between, right? This is your fibro cartilage. Look at the spaces, but it's not, it doesn't, there's circles, but it doesn't look spaced out. This is circles, but it looks spaced out. This will be found in between the fibro. We found in between your discs, because it's good at shock absorption. This is cytes. This one ends with cytes. This one is the other O word. That is your liline. This is your cell pit. Or central canal. Yep, cyte. Oh, fuck. D cyte. I had them reverse. D is xylene, lamella. That is that's your cell. The cell is cyte. Cell cyte. B canal. A ostenon. Red cell, white cell, plasma. Cardiac, nuclei, discs, striation. Found in your heart. Striated, cell nucleus, discs. Skeletal, striations, cell nucleus. Found in your tricep, because you move it, and yes, it's voluntary. Smooth nucleus, no striation, non-volatile. Find it in your stomach or any hollow organs. Axton, Demetrius, it's in your nervous system, found in your brain. That's the nervous cell body. The nerves cell body. a neuron cell body. I think I fucking did that shit. I did that shit, man. My brain started clicking a little. Now, hopefully when I go to bed and I wake up tomorrow and I look at this, I'll remember it. We'll find out. I'm proud of myself, guys. I'm proud of this. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all something. This is the first time I've ever studied for an exam in my college career. I've never studied for an exam once. I'm not gonna tell y'all what I did, but I tell y'all I didn't have to know the material to get a passing grade. But you know, I'm proud of myself for locking down this shit. I understand it much better. The only thing I'm like, is this one. The bone. I know it's a bone, but these words aren't clicking in my head. Lamella, see? Oh, LaMelo Ball, he would just be out there. LaMelo Ball, he out there. Canal, Central Canal. I just know it's something to do with as long as I know it's you know what I mean? I'll get that right. It's these two, osteon and site. Site is the cell, osteon is the O. But everything else I feel pretty confident in. And what I figured out is if you see lines, I mean stretch. If you don't stretch. See? This isn't the best. See, there's not really that many lines. But you see the lines? See the lines? No lines. I don't know what this is. I think this is this actual cell. No lines. Transitional. This is like blood. This one was tripping me up, the esophagus, because I kept on getting it mixed up with the bladder. No. I kept on getting mixed up with the alveoli. No. What was it? The trachea is the connects to the voice box, right? Yep. I kept on getting it mixed up with that. I feel pretty good. I feel good. Good job, guys. We did good tonight. I'll be honest, it really helped streaming me study because it was a little bit more entertaining. I have a hard time just sitting down and studying. I think I've studied my whole academic career 3.5 times. And one of those whole numbers were 2 half times. I had a good stream. I hope y'all did too. I'm tired though. Definitely tired. Hopefully this exam we can put that shit in the pack. Keep it moving. Friday's my exam. I'm gonna study some more because I gotta study chapter 5 and I gotta do my journal entries tomorrow. The journal entries are so much work, bro. It should be kicking my ass. I'm like, why is it so much? So I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I'm gonna study chapter 5 tomorrow. Friday, exam. Saturday, skydiving. The 24th, next Wednesday, open mic. Saturday, Yeezy. Well, really Sunday Yeezy. I'm going on the 28th. Saturday, Hard Rock. Sunday, Yeezy. Monday, home. That next Saturday, 4th of July. I got a lot of shit stacked up right now. We will definitely find time to stream, work it into the what's it called? The schedule. Uh I'm thinking, I'm pondering. We are going to listen to yeah, my shit right here. My favorite songs. I love y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all this every stream. Try out your goals, man. Try them out. Just try. Cause you know what? You're not gonna die. If you try, you're not gonna die. Well, you're gonna die. Actually, you're gonna die either way. So you can die trying, or you can die not. Trying is much more fun. It gives you something to do than just sit around. Sit around, nothing happen. Cause if I can try, you can too. I'm telling you. I'm no different from you. Cause I'm special. I'm a special person. You are too. Everybody has their own little, you know what I mean? Their own little thing that makes them special. Capitalize on that. Figure out what it is. Capitalize on it. Nobody wants to be an employee their whole life. Nobody wants to have to listen to somebody else their whole life. Just do what makes you happy. Do what you want to do. I hate, you know what I mean? I hate this school shit, but I'm gonna get it through because I have faith in this. I have faith in this. My streams, my stand-ups, any other goals, ambitions, endeavors I have in the future. I have faith in myself. I'm just doing this to make my mama proud, man. I love y'all. Stay safe, stay strong. Like that dense tissue, strong. Keep it going, don't stop. And I'll see y'all Sunday.